Hey everyone. It's been a while since I've done a longer video. I've been doing a lot of shorts and a lot of shorts specifically about finding happiness in Jesus, finding fulfillment in Jesus, finding purpose in Jesus. And I kind of wanted to do a longer video to kind of explain what I mean by that. Um, when I was 18 years old, I was graduating high school. I was thinking about what I wanted to do with my life. And I remember the pressure of making a decision and having an answer for someone asking what's next. But I also remember this feeling of this dread that I'm going to go and get myself into um, college for a certain career. And then once I get in that career, I'm just going to kind of just be trapped in it and just, um, you know, coast along life pretty much. I just had this feeling that if I'm not careful, I'm just going to get into something, a career field that just pays well. And that's the only reason. And I'm going to live my whole life just kind of um, trapped in a career because it pays well and substituting true happiness for kind of this knockoff happiness. And it was in that season, in that time when God really got a hold of my heart. I had felt in my heart earlier in my life and had different people say things over my life about, a calling to preach the gospel, but I wasn't really there yet. I wasn't there in my heart. I was looking at different career fields and just looking at what I could possibly do. I knew that the one thing I wanted to do was help people. But it was a very broad category, of course. And so in that season was when God really got a hold of my heart about evangelism, about preaching the gospel, about helping people in their deepest need, that spiritual need of Jesus in our hearts. And so it was in that time when it started clicking in my mind. I felt God really call me to this. And so I started praying about it more and started reading my Bible more and started serving at my church and kind of just looking for opportunities to share the gospel. And it wasn't long after that God was going to call me out of my hometown in Montana to go out and experience a different part of the world, and not even just that, but to get biblical training and to get some mentors and different training on ministry. And so I end up going to a Bible college in Portland, a very small Bible college, and got training there. And from then I graduated and was a part of a local church for a while and served there. And it wasn't until recently that God called me and Emma to Shelton in Washington to pastor this church. And in that waiting season, it was frustrating. I will say that in the last, 10 years, there has been a lot of waiting and that has a lot of frustration to it. But the whole time, God was still giving me a fulfilling life, giving me opportunities to do things. But not only that, just being with God every single day. Like, I think we so often want to get caught up on this purpose and what we're called to do. And there's certainly a lot of excitement around it, and rightfully so. God created us for good works. But I think a lot of times we get so caught up on that we forget the number one purpose is just to be in relationship with God. It's to experience his love. It's to have communion with God. Like, it's the greatest gift we will ever have. Is just to be with God daily and one day looking forward to seeing Jesus face to face, right? And so in this last 10 years, it's just been such a blessing just growing with God every single day, reading my Bible and praying and just listening for God's voice. And there's so many times and so many moments, like it's too many to count, where God's met me and spoke to me and given me joy or given me peace or whatever I needed in that moment. And it's just, the faithfulness of God, the goodness of God. Like David said in Psalms, like taste and see that the Lord is good. That's where we need to be. That can't just be something that's tied to ministry or tied to a purpose. It's got to be our first love. I mean, I've talked to some people recently, some older men who used to pastor, and they've told me that they just don't read their Bibles every day anymore, that they were only doing that for that season when they're in ministry. And it's kind of just broke my heart, just kind of sad, because I realized they were, their thoughts around devotions and reading the Bible is just to get a message out of it, to preach. It's something to do and not just be with God. And it breaks my heart because I think most of the greatest moments of my life have just been one-on-one with God, where he speaks to me through his word or through prayer or just through just being silent with him. Like those moments will have marked me and will continue to mark me for the rest of my life. And so first and foremost, we have to realize that our purpose is to be with God. And so this last 10 years, it's been so awesome in that way. It's been hard because I wanted to do more for God. I wanted to preach and have opportunities. And I certainly had some, but it was a lot of waiting. But in that waiting, I realized, wow, this is such a blessing because God is getting me on this journey on the right foot, where I'm not seeking a platform, a ministry, a whatever opportunity. I'm seeking God. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to be seeking God. Like he is my pursuit. He is my first love. He is my devotion, my all in all. And it's such a blessing because there's no hesitation in that. When I say that, that's complete confidence, and not bragging about myself, but that's just complete confidence that I know what I was created for, first and foremost, to be with God. And that's what I'm going to do every single day. And you don't need a platform to do that. You don't need an opportunity to do that. You every single day when you wake up, God is there waiting for you, ready to be with you. Like think of that. The God of the universe is ready to meet with you every single morning, to be with you, to show you his love. And so these last 10 years have been that. And then now I feel like God's launching me into ministry with this pastorate and with different opportunities just kind of popping up. And the combination of those two things, those two purposes, to be with God and then to do the works that he's called you to. And it's just so fulfilling. It is so fulfilling knowing that I'm not going to live my life in fear of this need of security or this need of specifically working a job that I just hate, but I just have to do it every single day. The thought of just following God into the unknown, who I don't know what the road has for me. I don't know what God has for me in the future, but just knowing that there's this adventure to it, this unknown, this mystery. I mean, it's so exciting to me. It's so exciting. I don't want to live, a bored life. I want to live a life where every day I'm being filled with God's love and then doing something about it, sharing the gospel, sharing the hope with it that's within me. And that's really why I do these videos at all. I'm not trying to, go viral or any of these things. I'm doing it because there's this love in my heart and I just want to share it. I really just want to share it with anyone and everyone. And so my encouragement, and it's been in these short videos, but I wanted to explain it a little more, is my encouragement to you is if you are kind of teetering on whether or not to really commit yourself to God, maybe you've given your heart to Jesus, you believe in him, but as far as giving him your whole life and your career, your purpose, your day-to-day life, your decisions, like family decisions, like who you're going to marry or all these different things, where you're going to live. If you've hesitated on giving that part of your life, which is a huge chunk of our lives, if you're hesitating on giving Jesus control over that, I would just say, just go for it. Don't hesitate anymore. The more and more you hesitate, the more it allows room for doubt and and doubt in God, doubt that God can provide for you, doubt that God has the best life in mind for you. But really, the reality is God has that. He has the provision for you. He has the best life you could possibly live. He has that in mind for you, and he wants you to walk in that. And what does that look like? It looks like, first and foremost, this relationship with God, growing deeper and deeper every single day. It looks like what he's called you to do, and not just a job, but a calling, something deeper than that. You might have a job in the secular world, but you are called to share the gospel there. It's a calling. And then the third thing I can think of is just your relationships. Like, God's going to give you the deepest, best relationships that you can possibly think of. Friendships and a spouse or children or other people in ministry. Like, he's going to give you the deepest friendships and relationships you can think of. And so my encouragement to you is just to not hesitate, to not doubt, to not put it off. Just give your life to Jesus. Like, let him have full control in your life. And it's so much more fun. It's so much more adventurous. Are there going to be hard times? Of course, absolutely. But the cool thing is, Jesus promised that he will be with you and he'll never forsake you. Like, those two promises, how can we go forward in fear when Jesus has promised he's going to be with you every single day, no matter what you go through? And maybe there are some of you who have gone on this journey and then, got hit back, right? The devil came against you. Something happened in your life and there's this disappointment and you're saying, well, I don't think I can trust God with that again. My encouragement to you is this, that everyone that's ever followed God has had failures, has had setbacks, has had attacks from the enemy, has had discouragement and disappointment. Every single person has had that. But what really defines these people of God, men and women of God, is whether or not they get back up again. Proverbs said that a righteous man will fall 7 times, but he'll get back up an 8th. He'll fall 7 times, but he'll get back up an 8th time. And so if you've been knocked down, my encouragement to you is just get back on it. Get back on the road with Jesus. Give your life back to Jesus, because he's going to heal you from those hurts and he's going to restore anything that the enemy's taken from you. Like, his life, his plan for your life of redemption is just so grand. And if you leave it where it's at, you're just going to go the rest of your life with disappointment, kind of just living as a shadow of your true self. And so if you give your life to Jesus, if you give him all of your life, again, all of your decisions, every decision in your life, you're going to realize that God has such a better plan in life for you than you could even imagine. Like, it's beyond what you can even imagine. I'm living that out right now, where things are happening in my life that I'm like, I wouldn't even been able to imagine how good God is, how good this plan, this life that he has for me. And ultimately, we all know that all of our stock, all of our investment, it shouldn't be in this life, because we're looking forward to the new heavens and the new earth. And so anything that we sacrifice here will be really nothing in comparison to what we gain, to the reward we're looking forward to in the new heavens and new earth, being with God face to face with Jesus, right? And living in a world with no more pain, no more sorrow, no more death, no more of these things that hinder us now, like a full life. So even if this life is pretty hard, God's going to give you joy through it, and eventually we look forward to eternal life. That's really what it boils down to. Jesus offers eternal life. It starts here and now when you allow Jesus into your heart, when you give him your life, but its fulfillment is in the new heavens, the new earth, in the next life. And so really there is no lose in the situation. It's a win-win situation. And my encouragement to you is, don't delay. Don't put it off. Don't put God on the back burner because life has a sneaky way of getting in the way, getting in the way of God, getting in the way of his purpose and his plan for you, right? The world will try to continually sway you to do something else. And it uses things like money and fame and success and all these different things to lure you. But really, money, fame, success, all these things are very temporary. The pleasures are very temporary and fleeting. Where on the other hand, God, what does God promise? To always be with you. He promises you joy that goes, right? It's better than happiness because it's not based on circumstances. He gives you peace. He gives you love. He gives you a purpose that actually goes beyond just yourself. You live for something bigger than yourself. And so there really isn't a lose in this situation. There isn't. And so my encouragement to you is just give your life to Jesus. He's going to give you a filling, a completely full and fulfilled life. And one day when you are on your deathbed, you're going to look back in your life and say, wow, God was faithful and God gave me a great life. But now I'm looking forward to true life, to eternal life. So just want to jump on here and share that and kind of explain a little more my heart behind this, because I feel like there's so many, especially young people, searching for this. And the answer is Jesus.